Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation.
Today, I'm doing is flipping the axle over. Now, if you have a look here, you can see axle sitting on top of the springs. Now, I don't know if you've seen from the photos previously that Caravan sits pretty low. I want to get a bit higher. I'd like to try and match the tyres on the MUX to our Caravan so they're all matching. But I just want to get a bit higher off the ground. That way I can put a bit more in to fit water tanks and everything in here. So I've jacked it up, and basically what we're going to do, we're going to rip these U-bolts off. They're pretty rusted, so I'm just going to cut them off, and then flip the whole axle out. The axle will come underneath, the U-bolts come up, and basically we're putting the axle underneath. One thing to know about these ones, if I bring you in a bit closer, you can see that's the center of the hub. The axle sits away, so the hub sits on top of the axle. One thing you need to make sure with these ones is that hub needs to sit on top of the axle. You can't flip the axle upside down. If you didn't want it sitting on top of the hub, you've got to get a whole new axle. I've only just learned that myself. Thankfully, I was already a bit worried that couldn't work, but it's not about weight distribution and stuff like that. I get it. But that's basically it. So that's today's job. Let's get into it. Alright, get the old U-bolts off. Got some new ones. So I've checked them to make sure they're all the same size. Before I cut them, I made sure I put them over the axle too to make sure the new ones fit. And you can see they're pretty rusted. The ends pretty knackered. One tip, cut closer to the bend than here, because I've just spent a while trying to do that one. These are our locating plates that go. Well, that's what that hole is. That's the locating hole. This is where the U-bolts go in. That little hole, if you look underneath here, you can see it goes over that little bolt, bottom of the spring. So, could have got some new ones of these, but they're still pretty good. I'm just going to hit them with the flat disc, and then we'll chuck a bit of black paint on them just to clean them up. And then the next step is undo them. I'm just going to focus on it. Yeah, undo those. Being aware of cables and everything underneath as we drop the axle. cold gaff. Yeah, a little bit stiff. I think I might just use a ratchet for that. The problem with these drills, it's a bit of a tight spot, you can't get in there. Oh, should I be the old school? Anyway, fingers crossed. Oh, it's tight. I'm going to put a bit more spray on that one. That top one seems like it's going to undo alright. Let's see if we can get that one undone. It's no problem with dealing with old threads. They're all pretty gunked up. I think that's what's wrong with this one, it's just gunked up. On the other side, I'm going to hit it up with a wire brush first, so I'm going to get into that for a bit and then we'll get back to you guys. After a good hour of tacking those bolts, no use filming that, it's hard work. I don't know what was going on. I'm knackered. It'd be easily an hour, 2 hours I reckon I've spent on this now, just to get them off. So I was using like extensions on breaker bars and all sorts. Got them off. You will see that I've put the axle on stands. Make sure you do that before you go pull the springs out. It takes the weight of the axle. You don't want it to drop on you. And my next step now literally is get the jack, lower these down, the stands down. If I might try and do it by hand. Make sure you're not going to pull any wiring or anything. I've disconnected my brakes, and then literally I'm just going to slide it across, lift the springs up, slide it back over so that the springs sit on top. So rather than trying to roll this all the way back, which just won't fit, we'll show you anyway how I'm going to do that. I'll run you through it. So you be careful. It's a bit heavy. Alright. Bit of I missed filming it, but axle's now sitting underneath the springs. We're just going to try and see if we can locate this. I'm thinking better put the spring on the axle and then hook it up. I'm not going to do anything up tight because then I'll work out where it's going to fit. But let's see how we go. Alright, so our little locating flat bit, these little bits here. So these sit between the axle and the spring. These are welded on to my axle. I've had box trailers where they're not welded in, so I've actually cut them off, cleaned them up a little bit, and I'm just sitting them there. They're just another locating one. It's easier for me to put it all in this way, line it all up. You know, later on I might get in and tack them in and then pull the whole axle out, weld it up. I'm gonna have to do the brakes and everything anyway. But we're about to see if we can try and line this up so we get our plate, that up, over that bolt that goes through the springs. And that's how you know about where your springs are meant to be. And then, all goes right, you should be able to hook these up through the axle and just tilt that to be able to. Alright, one measurement to think of I made sure my U-bolts fitted around the axle, talons. I didn't make sure they fit through here. So I've had to do a bit of a dodgy, and I've actually been able to spread them out slightly. I could have gone maybe the next size up and they still would have wrapped around the axle and that. Or get matching plates. Just something to be aware of. But let's try and get together now. Yeah, make sure it's not that one. Let's see how we go now. Fingers crossed you have a little bit more luck. Washers might be good. Huh. Odd one didn't have washers. Go figure. So, these U-bolts in. I'm not going to do this super tight, because once I've got it all sitting in place, I'll then do measurements between the hub and this plate and work out which side it is. So I'm just going to whack this side together and then I'll go over to the other side. I'm not going to film the other side. Yeah, you sort of make sure that your U-bolts are pretty straight. And then everything lines up. Alright, I'm gonna try and smash this all together. You guys don't need to watch this. I think it's gonna be a bit of a fiddly job and annoying. Alright, I've put the other side on. I've now got the jack under this one. Just jack it up a little bit more. Get it off that stand. So literally it's just a matter of lining these up now. So I've done the other side and get it lined up. Some things to be mindful of how you do them. If you're gonna do this yourself, your brake cables, I'm gonna have to undo that one, handbrake cables, and the wiring for your electric brakes. Mine already snapped. I need to rewire the whole electric brake, so I just cut the wires for that. I've got one side of my electric brake sorted. The other side, I went the wrong way around the spring, so I'm gonna have to undo that. It's kind of annoying, but they weren't working anyway, so that's something else I gotta do. But line these up. Our pins, and it's literally just a matter of lining them up. So I've got to, you can see, drop that one down a little bit. Here's the jack. And this is where having a second person would be very handy. Go, they just fit through there. Plates. Now these here, at the moment I have cleaned up all the threads here because they literally took me an hour just to get them done. So just get this one sliding up the other side at least. This side was a pain in the bum. Get out. Oh, nuts. Screw them on, and we're good to go. And there goes my hat. Alright, I'll do them up now. Alright, so it's pretty much as done underneath it now. Literally, tape measure now. I'm just going to measure from the back of the hub, or anywhere on the hub, same point both sides, and the spring in that. We just want to make sure that's even. So finding a neutral spot that'll be the same on both of them, slide them back and forth till you get them perfect, and then do up all your U-bolts. Make sure your U-bolts are straight. We're done. So I'm going to get in and do that, and then we'll chuck the tyres back on and see how high it sits. It's looking like it's going to sit pretty high. I'm pretty happy with this. Alrighty, that's it done. You can see a lot more lift underneath there, a lot more room underneath there to play with. Like, I'm wrapped. Absolutely stoked with how high it is. The legs are a little bit straight now, so I think I'll have to add some extensions to those, but otherwise, going around. It's a bit hard to see at the moment, but if you spin around to the front as well and have a look from the front backwards, you can see there's a lot more room there underneath. She looks very decent and still not too high against the MUX. I'm gonna say I'm knackered from it. Yeah, that was a big job. Some of those bolts really wore me out. Like, I was having to move the breaker bar every quarter of a turn out, and every quarter of a turn was using every bit of my energy. It was just, the threads are pretty stuffed. Well, the other stuff, they feel crap. So I fixed them, got that. One thing else to be aware of now is, depending on how it sits with the MUX, I may have to flip the toe ball over because I might nosedive a little bit. But that's okay, I'm not too fussed about that because I've done that before. I actually had it set up like originally with the other trailer, so I'll just flip it back. But yeah, done. Till next time.